All right, let's go. Class. Wow. Do we need to have a warm up first before? Is that what it is? We're jumping straight to notes. Okay, let's try this again. Class. Oh God, what is? Gross. Anyway. All right, so we're gonna try to fix this one right here. So example 3, everyone lost steam. Today is Wednesday, aka Friday of this week, because you guys are off. So you guys should be at least excited because tomorrow is Dia de Pavlo. Pavo. Day of the turkey, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through, I'm going to show you how to do this again, but the phase shift I put on there, it gave you the right answers, but it wasn't the same steps as I did last year. So I try to make sure I do this the same every year. So if you look at my videos one year or the other, it's all the same. All right, so help me out with this. So what's going to be the amplitude here? -2. Very good. So amplitude is -2. Next thing is going to be period, but to get the period, it's got to look like this. So for my phase shift over here, I'm using this piece. It's got to look like this. So I'm going to rewrite this as 3x plus pi, and then I'm going to rewrite that as 3 quantity because I'm going to divide each item by 3 because I want to get the x by itself. That's the whole point of rechanging this. And then the other thing is going to give me my phase shift. So that's divided by 3, it's just x, and then it's plus pi over 3. Now, in this case, this right there is where my phase shift comes in. Okay, after I factor out the b. So that means that my phase shift is going to be, so my PS is going to be opposite is negative pi over 3. The b value is going to be a 3. These are the same steps that I did yesterday, but when I did the plug-in, I plugged in pi, not pi over 3. I went through and graphed it. I made, it graphed and it gave me the correct points, but it just moved it over a lot more. It moved it over a lot more than what you needed. So the actual only phase shift is negative pi over 3. So it moves it over to the right pi over 3. That's what that means. No, left. Sorry, backwards. So it's left pi over 3. So my phase shift is there. Remember, it's opposite of that. So since that's plus, that means it's going to go the other way. So let's go through. My period is going to be 2 pi over b. My b value here is 3. Yes? Hey, Ron, I know that's not a phone in your hand, right? Hell no, you would. Yeah, it's a calculator. I know the calculator's got Wi-Fi, but I didn't think it had TikTok on it yet. I know the Chinese Communist Party is doing their best to make sure they're on every single thing that has Wi-Fi, but not my calculators yet. All right, so now we're doing the parts. So my parts is going to be 0 times the period, which is 2 pi over 3, and plus my phase shift. My phase shift is negative, right? So instead of saying plus a negative number, can I just say minus? So yeah. So I can just have, so instead of saying plus -5, I could just say -5. Does that make sense, hopefully? Yes? Yes? Good. Do we need to make a pot of coffee or something because everyone is dead?
It's like 5 people here.
I know, right? Where's my barista?
Mr.
Where is he?
He's the life of the party.
I know, right?
He's working.
Anyway.
No.
Next one, quarter times 2 pi over 3 minus pi over 3. 1/2 times 2 pi over 3 minus pi over 3. I know. Kind of miss them. Can someone just randomly say that they're going to tear off someone's skin for some reason? I know.
Wait, hold on. Well, you don't have to hold on specifically, you can teach you.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So let's see. 3/4 times 2 pi over 3 minus pi over 3. And then I get 1 times 2 pi over 3 minus pi over 3. And so it changes my math here. It changes my math. So I apologize on this if you did write it in there. Okay, I could give you some scratch paper if you want to rewrite the problems on that. Okay, if that's what you want scratch paper? Huh? Want some whiteout? No?
He said he's worshiping Kanye.
I'm gonna rip your skin off.
He really gave a lot into that. Like, he really, I would believe him if he said he did a double take on that.
Anyway, all right. So are you doing the math here for me? 0 times pi over 3 is 0, minus pi over 3 is negative pi over 3. 1/4 times 2 pi over 3 is going to be pi over 6. So pi over 6 minus pi over 3 is going to give me what is it?
Can you repeat the question?
This second one. You ready to do some math? I know you're not, because that's why you're here. Okay, reduce. So that's going to give me pi over what? 6, right? So, yes? Okay. So, pi over 6. Now, instead of saying pi over 3, I need a common denominator. The common denominator is going to be what? Say 6. It's going to be 6, right? Because I can multiply that 3 to get 6. I'm going to multiply this by 2 over 2. This is going to be 2 pi over 6. Negative pi over 6. So, yeah, there is some algebra and mental math I'm hoping is going on. So, I know you guys might not be ready for all the steps, so you guys got to stop me if you guys are struggling with these fractions. All right, so this one's going to give me a negative pi over 6. The next one, 1/2 times 2 pi over 3. Minus pi over 3. What's going to happen to those 2's? It's going to cancel, right? That's going to cancel, and I'm going to be left with what?
1
Pi over 3. Very good. Pi over 3 minus pi over 3. What is it? 0. It is 0. Let's go to the next one. So 3 pi, right, over 4. There you go. 3 over 4 times 2 pi over 3. All right, so we're going to do some reduction. What can I reduce?
2 and 4.
I could reduce the 2 and the 4, right? And that would be, that goes 1, and this becomes a 2, right? What about the 3's?
They cancel.
I could cancel those too, right? So what's going to be left on top?
Pi.
Over
2.
2, very good, minus pi over 3. Now, to be able to combine these together, I got to have a common denominator, right? So in between the 2 and the 3, what's the common denominator going to be?
6.
6. It's going to be 6. So I can multiply this first one here by 3 over 3. I can multiply this one here by 2 over 2. Remember, I'm multiplying by the value of 1. So if I multiply by 1, I get the same thing. But in this case, my 1 is going to look funny. So that's all I'm doing is I'm trying to make my 1 look funny. So the left side, I'm going to get 3 pi over 6 minus 2 pi over 6. And now can I do the math? Just, what do I get?
1 pi over 6.
Very good, 1 pi over 6. All right, and last one is 1 times 2 pi over 3 minus pi over 3. So that's going to give me 2 pi over 3. And look, common denominators already. So that leaves me with pi over 3. Now, I'm hoping like going off to the side and doing this and trying to show you this should be helping. You know, showing step by step on the fractions. Like I said, I blame your middle school teachers because they suck at teaching fractions nowadays. Every single teacher, or every single student I see coming through, even honor students, are coming through, and like fractions are like the weak point because they never did it. Okay. And I was talking to some of the other teachers, and do you know what they're in the Algebra 3 class, they're doing multiplication tables because they don't know how to multiply. Now, serious question. You ready? What's 7 times 6? 42.
Like, just like a minute.
Exactly, but it should be a rote. It should be by rote. It should be something that is just through routine that you could automatically pick that up. It automatically spits it out. Okay? I'm not hating you. It's just the math teachers you had before haven't emphasized those things. And because of that, once you get into some of this other stuff, where problem solving, where you're dividing fractions and all this other stuff, all this math that you should know, you should have there, it's not there. So you can't see the connection of doing the division and multiplication and all that. Okay? So, feel free if there is stuff that you don't get, and you gotta let me know. So fractions are I like fractions. I really do. It's a lot easier than decimals. They always work. So anyway, so next thing is we're going to go to the plug-in part. So this one is changing because I did try and draw it before, but it was way to the left. But that was far, so it was negative pi over 3 is here, positive pi over 3 is here. Right in the middle I should have 0, right? And I should have negative pi over 6 and I should have a positive pi over 6. And given that, what's my amplitude? -2. So this has to go up, right? 1, 2, and it goes down. There we go. Down to -2, up to 2. So now I'm going to start writing this out. So it was -2 cosine of 3x plus pi. That's how it goes, right? All right. So let's see. It's -2 cosine of 3 parentheses negative pi over 3 plus pi. Now, if you have your unit circle out, it's going to be helpful. All right. Remember, unit circle, take the finger out the nose and start putting it on the paper. Make sure you clean the finger first. Otherwise, you're going to have forever a boogie on there. All right. I'm multiplying by 3. So 3 times negative pi over 3. 3 times negative pi over 3 is going to give me what? What's going to happen? Negative pi, right? Because right here, if this is over 1 like this, the 3's will cancel. Yes? 3's cancel, so that's going to give me a negative pi. So now negative pi plus pi is?
2 pi. Or pi.
No, it's 0.
0.
Okay.
A negative pi
Oh.
plus a pi. There we go. Okay. A negative pi plus a pi is going to give me 0. Does that make sense or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you have no pi. I had a negative pi. So, I don't even know how to, anyway. I was trying to make a joke out of it about eating a pie, but now we have no pi. But anyway. So, 0, right? 0 pi. So, on the unit circle, put the finger on 0 pi. The finger is all the way to the right, and we look for cosine, right? What is cosine at 0? 1 times this, which is -2. Let's keep going. So -2 cosine of 3 times negative pi over 6 plus pi. All right, now we got to do some math here. That 3 and the 6, what's going to happen at 3 and 6?
We're gonna cancel out.
Yeah, it's going to reduce, right? So what's going to be left?
Pi.
I see.
Negative. So it was 3 over 1, right? Times negative pi over 6, right? And then plus pi, right? Okay, so right here, that will reduce. Okay, so I'm going to get a negative pi over 2. So it's negative half a pi, right? Negative half a pi plus 1 pi. But can I rewrite that as a fraction? That would be over 1, wouldn't it? Yes? But I'm still going to have that 1, but I'm going to divide it by 2. But I'm going to keep both halves. So isn't this still 1 pi?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It is still 1 whole pi, right? Even though I cut up the pi, it's still 1 whole pi. Now let's do the math. So negative pi over 2 plus 2 pi over 2 is going to give me, it's -1 right here, right? So they're common denominators. So I have a -1 pi plus 2 pi, 1 pi. 1 pi. So it's -1 plus 2. That's going to give me just 1 pi, right? So it's 1 pi over 2. So I have positive pi over 2 there. So now we're at pi over 2 on the inside, right? Yeah, if that was in your bag, you wouldn't have to worry about it. Now, put your finger where? Not on your nose, at pi over 2. Pi over 2. Where's pi over 2? There we go, straight up. Now cosine. What is the cosine? 0 times negative 2. Let's go next one. All right, hopefully these fractions are easy on this one. All right, what's 3 times 0? 0 plus pi?
0.
Pi, just pi, right? So it's going to be pi. So where do you put your finger at? Put your finger on pi. Pi is where? Pi is all the way to the left. All the way to the left. The other left. So all the way to the left. And cosine at pi is? Negative 1. Negative 1. So now I have that negative 1 times negative 2. Positive 2. Let's keep going. So negative 2 cosine of 3 times pi over 6 plus pi. All right, so let's see. What's going to happen this 3 times pi over 6? I can reduce it, right? By a factor of? Factor of 3, right? So this is going to change pi over 2. Yes? Am I making sense or nonsense? So if you're getting lost, please speak up. Because, yes, this is a bunch of multiplying, dividing that we might struggle with. So by reducing that, I get pi over 2. Plus, remember, this pi is the same as saying 2 over 2, right? Because that's still 1 pi, isn't it? And I want a common denominator. So I'm going to call it 2 pi over 2. Because that's still 1 pi. So I have pi over 2 plus 2 pi over 2. So they're a common denominator, so now I can add across the top. So I have 1 pi plus 2 pi gives me 3 pi over 2. Ooh, I don't want that yet. So 3 pi over 2 now. So put the finger, 3 pi over 2. Where's it at? Down here straight at the bottom, right? 3 pi over 2. What is cosine at 3 pi over 2? 0 times negative 2. Now my last one, negative 2 cosine of 3 times pi over 3 plus pi equals, this one should be an easy one. Should be the key word. What's going to happen to those 3's right there?
They cancel.
Cancel. So what's going to be left? Pi. So now it's pi plus pi gives me
2 pi.
2 pi. So on my unit circle, I'm going to go find 2 pi, which is which way? All the way to the right. 2 pi is all the way to the right. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, 2 pi. It's the same place as 0. Right there, 2 pi. And what is cosine at 2 pi? 1 times negative 2?
Negative.
There we go. So let's go ahead and put my points on my graph. So my first one here is going to be at negative pi over 3, I got negative 2. At negative pi over 6, I got 0. And then at 0, I got 2. There we go, and there we go. Now, I'm gonna stop here because I want you actually trying some more of these, because yes, these are kind of intensive. Do you guys notice the pattern? What's the pattern when I'm plugging these in? When I'm plugging them in, when I'm actually getting them, like getting these numbers right here, when I plug in. So at my 0, when I do my 0, what is it I end up at every single time? Where do I end up at? When I tell you to take your finger out your nose and put it on your paper, where's the first place we always start?
0.
We start at 0, right? Every single time we start at 0. What's the next one that happens all the time? It goes up to where?
To the right.
Not to the right. It goes straight up at pi over 2, doesn't it? So I start on the right-hand side, and then I go up to pi over 2. What's the next one I go to? And then I go to pi. And after pi, I end up at 3 pi over 2. And then after that, I end up at 2 pi. Doing this process every single time, it gives me my minimum, my maximum, and my midline. My midline in these cases are going to be 0. For all the ones that we've done so far, the midline is 0. But I keep having you guys point this out every single time because I want you to see the pattern. Every single time this is happening. And you know that you did this correctly if you see the pattern. So if I'm starting at negative 2, the next one has to be 0, right? And then it would go up, keep going up, and then it would go to 2. And then after it hits the maximum there, then it goes down to the midline. And the next one after that has to be down to the minimum again. There is a pattern. It is a wave. You can predict where it's supposed to be. So your math has to match that. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Now, you guys feel a little bit better about this? So try to get a couple of these done today if you could. We will continue on it later. On, when do I see you again? Monday? Yes, we will continue Monday. All right. Make sure you guys all like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification button. And, yeah.